Hi everyone, welcome to Conversations with Miss T, and that is me. I had a conversation with Tshepo Moloi. Tshepo is a former student of mine, a former president of Tutulisedi. He is currently studying part-time, working full-time, and a part-time model. So, guys, I had to change our theme song. I hope that you are slowly but surely warming up to it. Thank you so much for all your support, and thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy!
It's good to see you. Hey, it's been a while.
I'm a grown woman.
Ah.
Because I feel like when I was also still at Tudo, I was a kid myself.
Yeah, but you haven't changed that much. As you've got the good genes. Like, ouchinchanga that much.
Oh, thank you. Life has been good.
Yeah, it has to, Miss TV. Says a song. We're just trying our best to good things to connect.
Yeah. So as a model, does the height thing matter? Or have you grown taller now?
Hmm. Yeah, as a model, yeah, I can say that the height it does matter because
Mm.
I think that the height for the gents it has to be around because for me now it's 167. But if you were to go in the industry deeply inside, it has to be around 170 something. So okay, in 2019 I think I was on 166, right? No, 2016 meant to say I was on 166. And then when I went to check my height this year I was on 167.
Okay.
Mm.
Wow, you're growing tall. That's nice.
Just one from 166 to 167.
I say that because I'm 158, right? I'm 158 centimeters tall. When
Mm.
when I was still a tutu, you were a little bit shorter than I was. So for me,
Mm.
it's a huge, extension.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
if you do ah okay, if you do your research, okay, I did my research. So apparently when you do your research about the heights, if you're on 160 something, you're tall. That's what the Google says.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're tall people. You're just taller than I am, but we're all tall people. I like that.
Yeah. True.
So you say your relationships don't work out because you don't have time for them?
Hey, the story is long, hey, Miss T, because of okay, the person that I was dating at that time, we dated for like 5 years, right? And then it's something that we did like secretly. We didn't want it to be public. So it's something that we decided to just let it be between the two of us rather than just involving everybody else inside.
Mhm.
So yeah, it has been going good and all of that. But now the problem it became when I started, you know, growth somehow, right? So at that time, we were still in school, you know, that young love, fun, and whatsoever. So I decided to, okay, I moved into the employment, right? Which is something that I had to now balance between my studies and also balance between work and studying. Yeah.
Mm.
So now that I had been now I'm in a relationship with her, it became a problem because of now I had to um limit not limit myself as such, but I became too committed to my work and my studies. And do you understand?
Mhm, mhm.
So uh I had to make a decision. Somehow it's not making a decision because of you do not love that person anymore, but you're just trying to make them be happy. Do you understand? Because of I think I have my own explanation about how a relationship should look like.
Mhm.
Do you understand? So if you're gonna be in a relationship and then you don't give your partner time, what's the point? Yes, they might love you, but on my side, I felt it's unfair. As even if I were to be in a serious relationship, I would like to be given time. So for me, it came to a point whereby I felt like I'm being unfair to her, that I'm not giving her time. Rather, I'm focusing on because truly speaking, Miss T, about me, right? My age. If an opportunity presents itself,
Mm.
I would go for it. Do you understand? Because of
Mm.
I think my mentality is still there on my dreams, my dreams, my dreams, my dreams, my dreams. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if you get a partner who doesn't understand yet about where your mindset is at, it's a problem now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
If only if you can get a partner who's maybe supportive, maybe she'll be there, she'll understand that, okay, man, you have duties, you have this and this, it's fine. I'm there, I'm your cheerleader, I'll support you 100%. But if you're gonna get a person who's gonna be like, no, man, this is not what I want. I want us to have the private time together rather than just you focusing on your work. But how about if you can get yourself a person who would want to be adventurous with you? It's like when you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, let's go and grab a cup of coffee. And she's like, yeah, sure, let's go. Not a person who will be like, nah, man, nah, I don't like that and whatsoever. So yeah, that was the problem with it. So I had to accept somehow that
So you guys
it's unfair.
basically grew apart as you were trying to find yourselves. So you were in the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
environment, and then you got out of the of that environment, and then your life started shaping out differently.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, we grew apart, but yeah, we good. We just friends now because she understands my situation and yeah.
yeah. So you're one of those
Mm.
people who say yes, you can be friends with your ex.
Yeah, why not? As long as we didn't fight or anything like that, as long as we talk about it like gosh, as adults, that okay, it's fine, man. This one won't work out because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you understand? It's
Mhm.
don't take it in a bad way, but yeah, we can continue being friends and communicate and whatsoever. Then it's fine.
Okay. What do you do now during your free time?
Okay. Okay, so now I've decided to just keep myself busy with other things. Like I've joined casting agencies whereby sometimes they'll maybe give me a gig. They'll tell me that okay, there's a shoot at Rosebank or there's a shoot where I just go there and just make extra cash. So I go there sometimes to just keep myself busy. Okay, aside from the castings and the gigs and whatsoever, if I have time, let's say with friends or colleagues, we just go out, maybe just have a couple of drinks, have a chat, talk about life in general, talk about the work environment, where we see ourselves in the next whatever years. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do
Okay. You
sometimes.
just hang out, you hang out with friends, you socialize, and then you hustle also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. That sounds about, yeah. I pretty much do the same, but I like to explore as well. Yeah, I like
Mm.
traveling and just exploring things.
Yeah, me knowing you, you're very adventurous, Misty. Okay, now I have a question as Uchi. Um, how has the experience been for you since you've been that side, apart away from South Africa, and the
Yeah.
vibes they differ. In this side we have our own sense of humor, and then when you move in a different environment, the sense of humor is different from the South
Yeah.
African sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I know. Translating a joke does not work. It's so hard. Um, it's yeah, it's been a learning curve for me, honestly, because I think when I was still in South Africa, I was very narrow-minded. So getting out of that space and being exposed to a different culture, to a different group of people who do life differently has been incredible. And I look forward
Mm,
to doing a little bit more because being home, like being born in SA, staying in SA, being raised in SA, you kind of live in a bubble. And then you forget that there's a world out there that does not revolve around being an African, you know? So
mm,
it's great. There's some, and I know this is a little bit controversial, but there's some missions that I cannot touch, like around the world. Like, for example, the whole thing of I'm an African. it's great. Yes, I am an African. Yes, I'm black. I'm a black woman and I love it. But what is that going to do for me here in Asia? You know, it's like I'm
Mm,
coming into this world and I want them to do life the way that I want them to do life. And it's like, no, it's not fair. If somebody came into my
mm,
house and said, you know, I'm in your house now, so you do things the way that I want you to do things. That's not exactly how it works. So yeah, but I
mm,
know there's people who challenge the system, and I'm all for it. I feel like I have a different mission, so it's easy for me to align myself to the way of Taiwanese people, you know?
mm,
Yeah, and also to respect other people's identity. I don't know if we as Black people do that. We want people to respect identity so much, but I don't know if we do that. We give people that same respect in return. And
mm,
I also have been guilty of discriminating against people because they're different.
mm,
But when you look at it and you put yourself in that person's shoes, oh wait, say roles were reversed. Would I like this
yeah.
person to say this about me? Like it's really not
Mm,
nice. So that's another thing that I'm learning. And I would say also, just learning that, Black people are not the only ones that are struggling out there in the world.
yeah. That's true, eh? That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
yeah,
Nah, it's very good to hear and understand that things are totally different from what we see this side. Because of I also think maybe being in one space, yeah, at some point you get too comfortable to a point that you no longer realize that the world is different out there. So yeah, it's
yeah.
good to learn. Yeah, it's good to learn from you, Miss T. And no, maybe in future we also would want to explore and expand and go to other countries. So it's best if like you go in knowing where you're going and how you're supposed to hold yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah, to carry yourself. Yeah. So yeah, learning how
Mm,
to carry yourself adapt without losing yourself, because that's another thing, like people lose themselves. But yeah,
mm,
I know I do see you traveling. You might not migrate to another country, but I do see you traveling. Yeah. And meeting people from different parts of the world. It's amazing. You'd be amazed. I love it. I love learning.
mm,
That's why I usually ask a lot of questions. And it sucks sometimes because,
mm,
it kind of exposes the parts of me that are extremely ignorant to what's going on in the world. But I'm
mm.
learning at my own pace. Yeah. Um, so, how long have you been out of high school again?
Woo, woo, woo. When was it? Okay, yeah. It's been what? It's been 4 years. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's been 4 years, Miss T. And I won't lie, it has been hell of a ride, eh?
Mm,
Because after I've completed my matric in 2018, yeah. Um, I had to. Okay, when I was doing matric at that time, I didn't think about what's the way forward. So I was too focused into studying. You understand? So I was
okay.
focused in what I was doing at that moment. And then it came to a point whereby I remember I was writing my final exams, right? So yeah, I was too focused and whatsoever, and I knew for sure that I would definitely make it. So it became a problem because of now, as I was heading towards December, I remember that there's a time whereby I was sitting alone and I thought about it deeply that flip, my time is over in high school. What's
Mm,
the way forward? Bear in mind, at that time, I didn't apply for anything. I didn't apply in any institution. So it became a lot of confusion there because of now it was more of like I had to decide of what is it that I'm going to do in January, and at that time it's December.
mm.
Yeah, it's fine. So I was like, nah, let me just let that pass for now. Let me enjoy the festive season. Yeah, I enjoyed, had fun and whatsoever. As time went by January, I had to now, things are starting to get tough. During January, now people, you see people packing bags, school bags are being bought, books, whatsoever. People were registered and when you're like, what the hell? So it's fine. I was like, nah. So I had to, cause I'm a person who would draw a vision board every year. I'll create maybe my vision board knowing that maybe I have 5 of my goals written there. So I was like, nah, man, let me go back to my drawing board and write down the things that I'll have to start with first. And then I thought of maybe doing my research about are there any employment agencies. I searched, and then I got them the government agencies whereby you can apply. Yeah, and then I had to go. Yeah, I got an invite that I have to go there and write assignments and whatever. So after that, I think the whole year I was home. So I kept on going for interviews, back-to-back interviews, and some were not successful. Yeah, it's fine. And then I had to accept. I accepted that it's fine. Maybe it's not my time now to make it in that environment. Although, as I was preparing myself to go back to school, an opportunity presented itself towards end of the year. And at that time, I had already accepted that now. Let me not focus into employment, but how about now I focus into my studies? Boom, an opportunity came. Got the job for myself. And again, I had to make a decision on, okay, between my studies, because I was planning for full time. Luckily, I applied at the what is it, at the part time. Yeah, it's a part time.
Okay.
So yeah, so luckily I applied for part time. So I had to now make a decision on, okay, whether do I go for part time or do I just let go of this opportunity, the job opportunity. So I decided that nah, it's fine. Let me go for the opportunity and also maybe take the part time study, which has been so far so good, but it needs someone who's disciplined. I won't lie. You have to be very, very disciplined if you were to involve yourself in a position whereby you have to do your schoolwork, you have to do your job as well, because of both of them, they are very demanding at the end. So that was my journey. So in 2019, I think in December, that's when I started my employment.
Okay.
And then ever since I've been working, studying.
Yeah. And I've told you this. I'm so glad you went with that path because I although you're missing out on the experience of being a student, there's not much there. Well, there is just a lot of poor students thinking they know much about life, but they don't. You've missed out on that experience, but I am so glad that as young as you are, you can gain work experience. Because if people just go through school and then work, there's certain challenges that they face later on in life that I feel like if you would have been exposed to them earlier, by the time you establish your career, you are not making, the same mistakes, or like silly mistakes, because it really is embarrassing to be like a 26-year-old making like silly mistakes such as, not showing up for work, like things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you start early, you make mistakes and then you start building a work ethic, that will gain you respect in the profession world. And also just knowing what you're working, like you're studying towards, because you have a picture, you have a clearer, what's the word? A clearer picture of what the future holds now, because you've been in the workspace, you've been exposed to co-workers, and how life is outside of school. So I think that that will help you mature a little bit faster.
Yeah, just to add on that, the thing is, when you have a conversation with a person who's studying full time and a person and me, for instance, who's doing no part time and full time. So if you're gonna have a conversation with a person who's doing, let's say, full time, and I'm doing part time, right? And you ask for maybe their point of view. You ask them, okay, how would you take part time for you? They'll be like, nah, man, it sucks, man. You don't you don't get to be independent. You don't get that experience to learn on how to live on your own. You understand?
Mm.
And I'm like, no, okay, yeah, it's fine. They have their own point of view, but the bigger picture about being a part-time student is, as you're saying, it just teaches you about multitasking. You understand?
Mm.
And also it prepares you for as you're saying, for the bigger picture of knowing about the work environment.
Mm.
Because of when you come, let me say for instance, I came from high school and okay, I had my time whereby I was home. But when I went to employment, it was a bit difficult because of, come on, I was a student. And as students, the mentality is not the same. So now that I have to adjust in the working environment whereby you meet adults, you meet people who are far with the stage of life. So yeah, it's a bit of a process that you have to process yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Um,
Mm-mm.
Sorry about that noise. I should have shut the window. Another thing is, this is something that my dad told me when I was done with university. Basically said learning doesn't really stop, you know? And now
Mm-mm.
I'm colleagues with people that keep on learning. Like they apply for
Mm-mm.
courses, they're doing short-term courses, getting their teaching licenses and everything, upgrading. And so it just never really stops. Well, it depends on the kind of person that you are, but if you want to grow in life, then you will have to, further your education at some point. So you have learned the skill of juggling work and school, and you've learned it earlier. So now you know what works for you, as opposed to, people like me who had to. Actually, I worked part-time, never mind. Well, I studied full-time and I worked part-time. So, okay, I guess that does not apply to me. So say people who just went to school and then, established themselves in their career, and then now they have to balance school and they have to balance work. It takes a while adjusting to that. But you've already had that skill. I mean, big ups. Like, I'm all for it. Do it. Yes.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
thanks to you. But I think again it all comes down to, remember in high school, man, I've always been that person who's multitasking, any opportunity that presented itself or grab it. So you grow with that because of I grew with that mentality of now allowing myself, or maybe I've got used to being in multiple things rather than
Mm,
just doing one thing. Because
yeah.
of I'll do one thing. Let's say maybe I'll be like, nah, okay. In 2019, as I give myself time to think, it was a problem for me. I felt like I'm
Mm,
going crazy. I was like, man, I'm going mad because of I've got used to being in multiple things. So
mm,
I was searching for any opportunity, even if it meant like just going to advertise whatever. I'll be like, man, I'm keen for that.
mm.
So yeah, it started there in high school whereby I allowed myself to be in different things at the same time, and it grew within me. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I'm such a doer to a point where when I feel like I have nothing to do, it drives me insane. And
Mm,
and there's people who are comfortable with that, but I'm not. So I'm
mm,
happy that we have that one thing in common. And I've seen you do that, and you've shared that with me that you did multiple things, and you were there to watch me and the whole team basically do a whole lot in a short space of time. So yeah,
mm.
no, I'm proud of you. I would say keep doing it. Who says you have to stick to one thing?
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah.
Miss T. That's
And
true.
it
That's true.
helps you
That's true.
grow. It expands your circle. It broadens your perception of life. And
Mm,
yeah, it helps you think outside the box, and it helps you integrate certain things that you would have never thought go together hand in hand. Like for example, your marketing, you work in a bank and you're a model, and it's quite awesome, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember last time when we spoke, I did mention to you that the thing is that when you do not limit yourself, Miss T, sometimes you go into something but not knowing that you're even good with that. Do you understand? Because I remember last time when we did that competition,
Mhm.
remember?
Mhm.
And I was like, nah, man, I wanna do the auditions. And you're like, no, Tshepo, you're going for that leadership role. I was like, nah, I wanna go for presenting. You're like, nah. So when I took that role of the AMP leader, I won't lie, I shocked myself that, oh man, I can carry the whole team. Because remember that we had to lead the team. So it's something that at that point I never thought maybe I'll do it as such, because of I thought maybe, nah man, let me enter the competition and be part of the creatives. So when I did that, I shocked myself only to find out that, oh man, I did a good job. I think I even made it to what? To the semifinals. Yeah, it was the semifinals. So it was like, yeah, big ups, as a person, as long as you do not limit yourself, as much as you go into something with fear, because of it's something that you have never done before, but
Right.
you'd be shocked when you stand at the front and when you do it and present it at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think even rich people, even if you were to read their books, they'll tell you that I started from the bottom, and when I started something like this, I was not aware on how great it will be. I was
Yeah.
just giving it a test, and it became successful.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
I
Mm-mm.
want to find out before I say the next thing. Usbusiso Mbuyiso was the president. Did you become the president after him?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool.
And
Because
then
yeah.
yeah.
No, because I got to no, actually you say what you want to say first. Now I'm interested.
Uh, okay. The funny part about the whole, I don't know if he remembers, but the funny part about it is that I remember the year before, the year he was the president. There's a time where I spoke to him. I was like, man, that badge of yours, it's gonna sit here. And he was
Yeah,
like, nah, man, don't worry, you get it. And for me, it was a joke. Do you understand? It was a joke. The following year, boom,
you got
president. I
it.
was like, what?
Nice.
I
I
got
love
it. I was
it.
like, nah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
You just touched on something else that I want to address. But because I got an opportunity to work with Usbusiso well after he matriculated, and I got a chance to work with you before you matriculated. What I loved
Mm-hmm.
about the both of you and the character that you guys both have is that I could I could dump instructions and then not worry about whether you will be able to do it or not. Well, of course, I will try to like micromanage because that is me. I want to know what's going on and stuff like that. But I could trust you guys, and I loved it because when we were working at AMP, you never had any issues where it was like I cannot do this. I when it was time for you to get work done, you found ways to get it done. You were like good at executing in a nice mellow way because when I am executing, I'm all over the place. You can see that now Miss T is busy because she's talking, she's moving around, she's throwing things out there, like I'm out there. But with you and Miss
Yeah,
Uso,
yeah,
it's like you guys are so reserved, but you show, like what's the word? You show results. And I love
yeah,
that
yeah.
about the both of you. And now, in terms the thing that you just mentioned that you approached him as the president of the school at that time, and you said that to him. I think that sometimes we're so afraid to approach people that we think are at a higher level. No, but I don't know, like because they're I don't want to say above us, but like they hold a position that is a little bit higher than us. We think that now
Mm.
for some reason they are no longer human, but they are, and they are approachable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
That's the thing, Miss T, because of uh Nami at the time when I had to enter the journey of being the president, it was not easy because people, it's more like they build their own perception or image about you. Do you understand? It's like now they feel like you are supreme, you are supreme, you are
Mm.
untouchable and whatsoever. So sometimes it's sad that uh, 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 we do not see the light in people who are succeeding in life because of for me again to go to Spusiso and say to him, my guy, I'm gonna take that badge. It was just a joke, you understand? But
Mm.
only to find myself that I'll be the next president. And for me on my side, it was not easy because of I had to be the youngest president in school. which was I was in grade 10, I think so. Yeah, I was in grade 10 at that time. So the weight that I had to carry on my shoulder, it was a lot. And I still had to find ways to cope and keep up the personality because of, when you enter, besides just being the school president, but when you get the leadership role, it's important for you again to protect your cycle and protect yourself as well. Because of it, it's easy for an image to get ruined by people. You understand? So at some point, you have to find ways also to protect yourself, to protect your spirit, to protect your emotions, to protect your health. Yeah. So it was not easy because of I was young. You had to rule people who are older than you, people who would sometimes just disrespect you. But at the end, you'll have to toughen up and also react according to your leadership skills. Remember that we went to what is it, Columba leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were
And
we
then
in the
that
same
has taught.
group? Were we in the same
Nah,
cohort? You and I.
no,
Oh,
we were not. Because
yeah.
no, you guys came after us. Because of we went with Memkhanyaho and Setsoke.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, going in that, I think the skills I applied them when I took that role of being the president. So I applied that the perseverance, the integrity, and so forth. So I had to apply those skills so that I know that even if I were to take this role, I know how to lead.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it was not easy, but yeah. I learned a lot from.
I like the response that Usbusiso gave you when you made that joke. He made it seem like it was possible for you to do it. He didn't shut the door right in your face to say there is no way, it's not easy to be here and whatnot. So I like that humility about him. Because if he made it seem like it was difficult, then maybe that would have hindered, your ability to get into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It makes sense.
What I learned from the Columbia Leadership workshop training was that I really needed to be self-aware and also aware of the environment. Remember, and that was a concept that I wasn't really familiar with, awareness, because they give you a homework, right, to do research on all the leadership characteristics and stuff like that, to be able to define them, and explain it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think awareness was something that I struggled with, and I just wasn't sure what it really meant. So I remember that morning during breakfast when they asked us about that. And mind you, I'm the teacher and it's like a bunch of students, but I'm sitting there going like, I really don't have an idea. So I think one of the students explained it and it was talked about and then it actually sunk in. And that's one leadership quality that I feel like I've really worked on. And for that reason, I am very aware of, I would like to say that I'm emotionally intelligent. Like I pick up on people's emotions and, I do something about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, oh, okay. Because I remember we also had to go hiking. So I also learned that I'm not the fittest person in the world. Okay. That hike was not easy for me, okay?
It was not easy because of about the hiking because of that the whole Columba thing is tea. It was somehow mind opening. Also for me to realize that okay, maybe let me try the leadership thing. I remember whereby we were given an activity. We had to instruct our team members that you had to know. Okay, at first we went for the tour whereby we went for the game whatever game ride or whatsoever whereby we had to go see the lions
Oh
and
yeah.
so when we came back the following day there's a challenge that we made whereby I had to somehow present to them the place that we went to yesterday, but without having to interpret with my mouth. Do you understand? So at the time, they're like, no, you have to select yourself into different departments. There has to be a person who would guide you. That there has to be a person who would give you instructions, but without speaking. And I chose that role whereby I have to be the one who has to lead and give them a clue. That, oh man, the clue is the place looks like this, but I don't have to speak. They have to imagine according to my reaction. So I took that role and I did it so well. I was like, oh, okay, nice. So it helps somehow, the whole Columba thing. I wish they could give others the same opportunity we got, but unfortunately, because of
Yeah.
truly speaking, everybody who went there, most of them took so much growth.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what happened with our school, because you guys went first, we went second, and then there was a group that came after us. I remember the Columbia facilitators mentioning the fact that we were one of the few schools that actually combined the cohorts, because there was a point where we were actually working together.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved that so much because we could learn from each other. So you guys taught us things that we did not know, and we also learned
Mm.
from the group that came after us. I don't remember what we called ourselves, but I think we were the game changers. What was your group?
Yeah. Our group was called what? Something pioneers, something like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
the
the pioneers.
last
Yeah,
name
yeah,
is pioneers. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And the group after us was something Shapers. I don't remember, but their logo was nice and beautiful. So
yeah.
yeah, I like that we collaborated and we actually made a huge impact, I think, at the school, and the people that we worked with were very driven, you know? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice because we created memories, we had fun, created
we had
events,
we had so much
and it
fun
was so
together.
good to see the team as well growing because of their people who decided to join us, apart from those who went to the academy. So it was nice to just see how well we're doing and how people some felt inspired to a point that they entered the group and we became a whole lot of bigger group. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I won't lie, it was nice. We
Yeah,
enjoyed.
I would say that you guys were also very creative. That's the one thing that I loved about working with you
Mm.
because you had wonderful ideas. And I like that you were also comfortable enough to approach Umemdul and I with your ideas and suggestions. And you see, the thing is, once this is my problem, right? It's good and bad. Once I have a vision, like I am just tunnel vision. I'm gonna do it, and I don't care what anybody else says. Now, this is good in the sense that things get done, but this is bad in the sense that if you have a team that you're working with, you have to be
Mhm.
open to suggestions, which is something that I'm still, working on. So I think there were moments where you guys had suggestions that I felt comfortable enough taking and incorporating into everything that needed to get done. So I liked that. And I know that I was not the easiest person to work with because it's like it's too much at a short space of time and you just have to get it done and be crazy, insane.
Did I explain to you last time about the NGO that we're planning to open?
I need to know how it started.
Yeah.
You told
Okay.
me you
So
told me everything that you guys did, and I thought
mm,
about it the whole week, and I was just so touched, okay? Because you also sent me pictures and stuff, and I loved it. But I forgot to
mm.
ask how it all started.
Okay. So the way it started first, it was me and Tammy. So Tammy, we had the same idea about wanting to create an NGO for the community. So we had a little bit of struggles at first because I had been busy with my own things and he had been busy with his own things. So what made this whole thing to be successful is that when I entered the competition, which is Leabu, the Mr. United Nations, It required us to send a community work whereby we have to give back to the community. We had to serve the community. So I took the idea and I was like, nah, guys, how about we start what we wanted to create a long time ago? Let it be the start. Let us use the platform, which is the Mr. United Nations, to make it grow. So that's how we started. So when it started, we first had to come up with ideas. So the team, it's me, Tammy, Dan, and the sister Katintswalo, and Ntswalo na herself khona ngaphakathi. So we became a group. We formed a group whereby we would make meetings sometimes to just discuss about the way forward, the plans, how we want it to be, and how successful it should be. So when we came up with the idea, it was for us to start maybe around our community, which is maybe fosterers, just to do our research and check all the orphanage. We first went to we first had to go to Tulani. And so we had some sort of like a meeting with the facilitators, the staff members, just to talk about the way forward of how can we engage with them and how can we plan to make that event successful. So when we got there, I said that he told us the story behind on how it started, the whole thing. And then it's sad because of when we had the stories that they would go to sleep not knowing what the next day has for them in terms of food, So we first had to gather that whole information so that we know that even if we were to structure our own plan, how should it be structured, based on what? Do you understand? So we took the whole information that we got at that time, and then my teammates, we all came up with the brilliant ideas. Some thought of the movie days that we used to create at Tutoli City before. So we took that idea and we implemented that idea in the whole event that we wanted to create. Some came with the game activities on how we can play all together and how we can make them feel free first before we can put them in the movie, whatever. So we planned all of that, and then after we had to now think of ways on how to sponsor, because of obviously if you were to plan an event, you have to sponsor. It's either you find a sponsor or you have to sponsor yourself. So unfortunately at that time, because of our organization was still all over, we did not register it at that time. So it was not registered at that time. We had to plan the budget ourselves on maybe if we can just contribute maybe 10 Rand per month. And then after we can just calculate it together and buy food and all that stuff. So that's what we did. It was a little bit of a struggle at some point because, when you have to fund from your pocket, the budget doesn't balance very well. But yeah, we did the best we can. Some things we had to go door to door. My teammates like Tinzwalo, she had to go door to door asking for clothes. She had to buy pads for them, and we had to just accommodate in terms of food. So we made it simple so that it's not something that will go above our budget. So we thought of things that will just maybe be less, less and nice, not just less, but less and
affordable.
Yeah. So we just bought things like hot dogs. We just made hot dogs, bought the juice, bought popcorns. And yeah, they were so happy, excited, Misty. They were so excited about the whole event. They felt comfortable. They felt the joy, they felt it was fun, Misty. It was hella fun. So from all those activities that we played, the games that we played, we decided to, from playing the activities, we went to watching the movie. So the movie that was selected was just a movie that was based on just teaching them a lesson so that they know about life and what's so forth. Just a movie that will make them to dream big, So we watched all the movie together. We had the popcorns on the table. They ate the popcorns and had fun. They enjoyed the movie. So lastly, when we closed the whole event, we formed some plan whereby we had to motivate them before we can just conclude the whole thing. So we gave them a motivation about how they should dream and how they should have good perception about life. And I had to also close it off just to give them motivation, because of bear in mind at that time I was in a competition. So I had to encourage them that yeah, such things they do help. If you join the modeling industry, it has opportunity. It has just the sense of you to grow. Sometimes it's not about winning in life, but as long as you know that you have made it until that point, that's still an achievement. Just take it as yeah, I did achieve that. It's a success. You can add it in your books. You can add it in your experience, your CV. You can use it still fine. So yeah, we had such conversation, and yeah, it was fun, Steve. It was fun. It was fun. So, but now
Can I
it's just
ask
that
a question?
yeah, yeah.
Who gave the motivational speech? It was you? Did everybody else talk? Or it was just one
Oh,
person?
oh. Okay, so with everybody had their own role to play. So with Tammy, he had to play the game activities.
Okay.
Um, Pinzalo, she did very well with the cooking and stuff, the
Yeah.
popcorns, hot dogs, the juice. She played very well in the kitchen. And then who's this? Who am I forgetting? Okay, Dan. Dan, he came up with the idea of giving motivation, just encouraging them about life and so forth.
Yeah.
And I came in just to close it, as when I approached them at first, I told them that also this is based on the competition that I'm doing, which is the Mr. United Nations. So I had to just give them the light about it and give them the
Yeah.
light about life. Yeah.
I love
So
because I mean I love everybody that you just mentioned. Udan stands out for me because he was in my science class. And I
mm,
knew that I knew at first I thought that he was just being, a lazy kid and he didn't want to do work and stuff like that.
mm,
And later on, I just knew that it's because Udan is gifted in something different. And I had to accept that as a teacher. And also,
mm,
I don't think I did justice in encouraging him at that time because I wasn't sure exactly what it was that he was gifted at. Only
yeah.
when he entered Mr. and Miss Tudo, then I was like, oh, this is what he's gifted at. And at that
Mm,
time, it was a little bit too late because I was about to leave. But I think that
mm,
I did my best at that time to cheer him on that journey, on that path that he was in. And so
mm,
that's why whenever you mention him, like for me, I feel a sense of guilt at the same time because I feel like
mm.
maybe I should have known earlier. Then maybe I wouldn't have been so hard on him, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, continue. Yes.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, nyakosha, nyakosha, nyakosha. So the name of the NGO, because if I have to specify it. So uh now okay, when we made the event, we didn't have any name. So we went there, Tshepo, Tintswalo, Dan, Tami, that's it. And then from then, because of we were motivated and encouraged about the whole event,
Yeah, yeah.
we started to look forward to just planning meetings about it.
Hmm.
We planned meetings, so there's a time whereby we all came together and we sat down and talked about the ideas that we have, the proposal that we would like also to submit for sponsorship. So when we sat on the table, we obviously had to start with knowing what would be the name of the organization. So we came up with different names, blah 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 blah. And then I was like, no, it's fine. How about we give it Fountain of Hope? So that's the name of it, Fountain of Hope.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then so although when we were planning it in a way that should not only be limited to providing for the orphanages or maybe the old age, but how about we do it something that just accommodates the youth, the whole youth. Maybe if we can just come up with different events aside from just giving back to the community, just something that's totally different. So we thought of many ideas, like maybe sometimes having trips, take them to camping, just having fun and all of that.
Yeah.
But those were still the ideas that we had, and we had to create the logo, the slogan of the NGO. And then we struggled with the time. That's the problem. Everything was going fantastic, Miss T, but the time it was a problem now because of everybody now. They had their commitments, employment. They had some they're studying, some they had to do other things. So it just became a whole lot of a different thing. Although we still talking sometimes when we get a chance about it, Gucci, what would be a way forward? But it's still part of the plans, Gucci. As we move forward, we should move forward with the whole plan that we have. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you. I am so proud of all of you. First of all, for the great ideas that you had, for the vision that you had to not make everything about yourself, to remember that there's other people out there, to give back, to plant a seed of good deed. And also, I'm happy that you guys worked well together. Well, I don't know how well you work together, but I'm glad that you came together and you executed without, like a lot of conflict getting in the way. For me, I
Yeah.
feel like that is the biggest accomplishment when it comes to this whole project that you guys were running. That you could work together and work through your differences and then still, reach the goal that you had in mind. Because as you can imagine, and I'm sure you know this too, it's not easy working with people.
Yeah, it's not, eh? It's not, Miss T, at all. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Because of, that's the lesson that we took from the whole thing is that we aside from when we work together now, we took it in a way of in high school we consistently had the teacher beside us. When we created something or planned something, there was an adult who would come and help us. But for us to be able to initiate something so beautiful without having, okay, we did get the help in terms of advice from adults on this is how you should do it.
Mhm.
These are the things that you shouldn't do. Yes, but when we had to now be present, it was just us all together. So it was nice to see that we worked as a team and we all participated because regardless of everybody had different roles, it's still fine, but we still helped. So when Tammy came and played with the games, we also had to take part in that. When we went to the kitchen to cook and plan and do the food, we all went together to cook and do all the food and the juice and whatsoever. So it was nice to see that we all worked so well and participated so well without having an adult beside us working with us. Do you understand? So yeah, it
Yeah.
was nice. And bear in mind we were working with young ones. And with young ones, you have to be careful now on how you treat them.
How you
Ukuthi,
speak to
amnakekele,
them, yeah.
yeah, it's important. And nakhona, they also want to feel comfortable around you. So it was good to see what we see us in a space whereby they felt comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, the important lesson that you're mentioning here is, you know, basically knowing when to lead and knowing where to follow. Because I think that some people become too much of followers. They don't realize that they do have areas in their lives where they're supposed to be leading. Or some people become so much of a leader, they think they can lead in every area, and they forget that in some areas you have to be a follower. Do you understand?
True, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
do
for
understand.
yeah. So for example, of course, when I'm in class, I can lead the class, but outside of class, there's things that I absolutely have no idea about. And that makes me a follower in that area. So I guess you guys learned a very valuable skill of knowing where to follow and follow well, and knowing where to lead, when to lead, and lead well. So there is so much lessons. There's so many lessons in what you guys did that I think could be a takeaway for so many young people. And I
Mm,
think that you should involve a lot more younger people. Maybe go back and tutor and find grade 8, 9, 10 students, get them involved as well. The same way that we got you
yeah.
guys involved, just pass on the
Mm.
baton and keep up the good work. Yeah.
Thanks, thanks. And then before Sivala, Miss T, I have a question for you in terms of in what you wrote a book and it.
Oh yeah, you bought the book. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, what do
So
you
yeah,
think of it?
yeah, it's nice, because of the funny thing about it. So Line, I have my older brother, Nebati Chosias. So I bought the book. I'm like, no man, I'm supporting Miss T. So the book is fine because of Tina Langley, we don't have Mntwana to give the
Right.
book to. So I was like, nah, if we could just meet Mntwana, maybe what's a family, we could just give that child and not let. Guess what, the guy? So as I'm taking my blanket, it's time for me to sleep. I'm taking my blanket, I'm sleeping. The guy comes with the book.
Tell me.
He's like, okay, Tshepo, so it's you fundele a bedtime story. You funda why you I'm like, you crazy man.
So did he read it for you?
We funda yonke misti. I was like, my guy, I serious but I funda nengizoyiqeda. I'm like, my guy, it's like, no, I need to go my umntwana omncane akekho. And who last born la endlini. So ngizofundela yona.
But be honest, how did that feel? That must have been a very sweet moment for you.
Yeah, misti. Yeah, man. It was fun and interesting, and I was shocked with my guy. What's serious, man? And he's like, serious. And then now, okay, yesterday I slept, I think, early because of I was tired because of being food. And it's okay, it's fine. I'm good and I'm shy. He's like, yo, yes, ngenile, and then as mingena, I only find out it's so late. I was like, what's your answer? He's like, how? Yes, I have to read bedtime story. I'm like, yo, this guy,
Same book.
this T. Aye,
The big
aye.
fat man has entered the building, y'all.
Yeah, definitely. And I could feel the presence of the big fat man. Hey, yo, Svelelo,
Oh,
Miss T.
Tapa, that is so good. Like you got more than what you had bargained for. Now you have, somebody reading your bedtime story. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
what was
otherwise, I won't lie, it's very fun, it's very enlightening. And for I think, such books they're important again because of Gutumtwana, when they start the school, you have to teach them ABC, you have to teach them how to read. So I think it's a very nice book for Ugutumtwana Velum Fundis at that early stage on how to read because of it's not so difficult, it's not bombastic words or the big words that you use in English, but it's simple. So as when you phone, I was like, nah, man, this is good for those young ones in grade, maybe grade R or grade 1, 2, 3. It will teach them on how to read, or it will prepare them before bangena grade 1 or grade R. So it's very nice, Mr. T. But I have a question for you. I would like to know now, how did you start the beginning of your book? Because of Nyabona it's printed where it
yeah.
the copywriting, the whole thing. So I'll just like to know about it, Gucci. How did it start? Generate the journey of the whole process, the book, the project.
Yeah. Well, Tapa,
Yeah.
you should have attended the book launch, okay? But
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so strange. I'm just writing. I've been writing the other book, right, for a while, like a short novel and stuff. That's taking a lot longer than I had anticipated. But
Mm,
with this book, I got into the habit of coming home and just eating dinner in complete silence, right? I just wanted to be in my own thoughts and space. No TV, no Netflix, no music, no nothing. So I was just sitting,
mm,
and then the book came to mind. I quickly grabbed
mm,
the pencil and paper and I wrote it. And then I just put it on my counter. I left it. The I went to bed. the next day when I came back from work, I was like, oh, this is cute. Let me just read it. I read it. I was like, oh, this is nice. And I fixed a few things. And then I
mm,
thought of my students. I was like, this is something they would enjoy because I thought of like a reading time in class, and how amazing it is. And I was like, oh
yeah.
no, this is something they could definitely enjoy. Let me see what I can do with it. And so then I had to Google like on how to publish a book and whatnot. And I found an
Mm,
illustrator. And as soon as I found an illustrator, it all became a reality, you know?
mm, mm,
I sent him the work and then he seemed very interested. He said the story is cute. And I think he was the first person to see the story. It's like, really? You think
yeah.
it's cute? He was like, yeah. He said, how do you want your characters to look? I gave him a
Mm,
brief description of what I wanted and then he produced it. That's why I love artists because they bring what they imagine to reality. And it's just so incredible, that they could do that.
mm,
So he
mm,
he created the characters and everything, and then he added his own, creative element to it. I was just like, do it. And then it was just there. It was just sitting there in my Google
yeah.
Drive, and I didn't think of it. I was just busy with other things. So when I came home, I had to deal with some things, some family emergencies and stuff. And 2 days before I flew out of SA, I was like, wait, hang on, there's this book, let me see if I can get a
Mm,
printer. And so I contacted, the print shop and they said, oh yeah, no, send me an email. I sent an email. And then she was like, you can
yeah.
pick it up this afternoon. I was like, really? She said, yeah. I said, okay. And then I was like, okay, let me print 10 copies. I have these few people that I can give the book to and stuff like that. When I went to get
Yeah.
the lady at the print shop said, this is a very cute book. I'm sure that your clients are going to enjoy it. I was like, are you sure? She said, yeah. I said, it's too small. She said, it's great. And I was like, okay.